What is going on, everybody? This week in episode 81, I think it's 81, Michael Starkey joins ARO podcast. Starkey is somebody that I have been, interacting with for a long time on Instagram. It's somebody that I recognize his handle, I recognize his face, I recognize his content, and come to find out we have a lot in common. Both metalheads, so we did a lot of talking about music, heavy metal, the metal scene, different types of heavy music, and then we talked a little bit about politics and crossbow hunting and baiting and hunting in Ohio and Kentucky and private land and public land and what's kind of how all that parlays into my life and Starkey's life as well. So anyway, I hope you all enjoy this podcast coming up with Starkey, Michael Starkey, next here. Fellow Ohio hunter, and we hope you all enjoy. Talk to you later. See ya. Cool. Yeah, so just start over by just go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Michael Starkey. I'm 29. I'm a father, a husband, deer killer. I'm just a straight killer. It's hard to get me to pass anything. Metalhead. I'm a union iron worker out of local 44, Cincinnati. Just your average blue collar guy, really.
Yeah, and we were talking about how you had for everybody that's listening to this, we had to start over. So if I can figure out a way to piece that into this, then we will do so, and let's get this double. But anyway, we were talking about metal, and I started laughing sort of not at you, at the situation, because you are 29 and I am 45. So I am almost 20 years older than you. And so when you were talking about getting into metal in that year and how old you were, I had just moved from Michigan to Central Florida at that time in 04. And when I was in Orlando, I really fell in love with the local metal scene in downtown Orlando. And it wasn't that I didn't go to shows here in Detroit, in Metro Detroit. There's a phenomenal place north of me in Flint called the Machine Shop, world famous. Everybody goes to the Machine Shop that travels through Michigan. But there was something about these little tiny venues in Central Florida, and the local scene specifically was unbelievable in Central Florida in the early 2000s as far as all types of metal. I'm talking thrash metal to post-hardcore to emo to literally everything was available. And my wife would go to work in the evenings. This was before we were married. She was a server, so she was a waitress. She was working at downtown Disney. She'd go to work in the evenings. I would just go to a fucking show because it was $5 to get in. That's when I became obsessed with metal. But you were saying your first song was Goats on a Boat, you say?
Yeah, it was Goats on a Boat by Prada. I think it come out in 05 or 06. And I seen a poster, if you remember, way back in the day, before they even had their album come out. It was a poster of that girl with her hand like this, and it was kind of a grayish red background. And I just thought it was cool. So I listened to that, and then when you used to get a card for iTunes, I just bought the album, and then it just spiraled from there. And then I just, ever since, dude, I've listened to almost every metalcore band that has come out, post-hardcore, deathcore. I like some hardcore, but I'm not a big hardcore guy. But I've just been a metalhead for so long, it's unreal. I can remember in 5th grade, the music teacher for some reason came up with this great idea where one student gets picked for the week to play one song, and then the class just talks about it.
On a CD or something?
Yeah, but I had the little tiny iPad Nano, or the iPod Nano. It didn't have a screen. It was just a little one that big.
Yeah.
And I had to click through it to find it. But I put on You Can't Spell Crap Without C by Prada. and I thought I was about to be like a girl from the witch trials and get hung sitting in that classroom. You know what I mean?
If you can remember, was there anybody that was like, yes, this is my jam? Or was it like, ooh, something's wrong with Michael?
No, they're like, that kid's fucked. You know what I mean? Like, there's something wrong with him.
Were you okay with that? Did you felt good about it?
Yeah. If I could go back and do it, I'd play Entombment of a Machine by Job for a Cowboy just for that high scream, just for the hell of it.
Did you have any siblings do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I'm the oldest of 4.
Okay, so it wasn't like you were being influenced by somebody older than you even. Like that happens a lot.
No. No, my dad listened to like Zeppelin and he's a big 70s guy, so Zeppelin, Van Halen, and then he used to listen to Rage Against the Machine, and then like Marilyn Manson, but I never listened to that until I was probably like 13 or 14.
Yeah. Interesting. I was so I'm of the era that grew up with subwoofers in the car. And then like a lot of underground hip hop bands from Detroit, Metro Detroit, from Flint. And then like how loud were your subwoofers? Like that's where I grew up in high school. And then my little brother was playing the drums when I was getting older. And then he said, I can vividly remember getting up to work at 5 and coming home early and then taking a nap before I'd go to the bar. This is when I still lived at home. My brother was still in high school. And I remember laying in my room and hearing him play the drums in the garage and then hearing him progress like, oh shit, Adam's not just slapping the drums anymore. Adam is playing fucking music now. And then he was actually the one listening to like Limp Bizkit, $2 bill or $3 bill, y'all, whatever that fucking album was. And then he's actually the one that got me listening to different, maybe a little heavier stuff instead of the hip hop. But like I said, I didn't get really heavy until the early 2000s when you were sub 10 years old.
Yeah. No, I progressively, like, I still love deathcore. I still love all like that. But as the older I get, I kind of fall back more into nu metal because I enjoy it, I think, a little bit more. But I always go back to, like, my roots.
Yeah. There's something to that because I do, too. I'll listen to some new heavy stuff here in the gym. But then every now and then I'm like, what did I used to listen to? And I'll scroll way back in the catalog and try to listen to something from 20 years ago, honestly. Just hits different.
Yeah, I always for some reason come back to the Iowa album by Slipknot. I think it's one of the greatest albums that's ever been made ever.
Yeah. Yeah, did you ever listen to Il Nino?
No, but I've heard of them. I've never really checked them out.
Yeah, there are 2 albums. Il Nino's first. I'm going to say it's their first 2 albums. I can't for sure say it's the first 2. One of them was called Resurrection, and the other one was called Confession. Those 2 albums I will go back to frequently, and they're ones that are heavy with some melody. But you can hit play and let them go straight through. And I feel like that's the true testament to like good fucking metal is if you don't have to skip anything.
Yeah. And if you were in the Orlando scene in 0405, you had to have seen like A Day to Remember start to come up.
Yeah,
right?
I don't remember, which is weird because they are a day to remember. I don't remember. They could have opened for people at House of Blues Orlando. A lot of Kill Switch Engage came through there a lot. Spine Shank came through there a few times. Il Nino a few times. Flaw. Seven Dust was there all the time. There was
Seven
a lot
Dust
of
was so good.
Yeah, Chimera. Like there was a lot of really great bands rolling. Like I'm telling you, House of Blues. I'd go to the show. By the time it was over, she was getting out of work, and we would go have a drink and then go home. It was fucking
there's a
awesome.
spot. There was a spot up in Dayton when I was a kid. My mom never let me go to it, but it was called the Attic, and it was a small venue, but like all local bands played there. Like Miss May I's from Ohio, they're
That's
from
right.
Dayton, so they would play there. Prada's from Dayton, so they would play there all the time. Attack Attack was from Cleveland, so they would come down all the time and play. And like my mom was like, "You're not going there," and I'd be like, "Oh, come on, man, just get me a ticket." You know what I mean? She thought it was the devil's music, whatever.
You know, small world, my brother and his wife used to make peanut butter, like gourmet, like homemade gourmet peanut butters with none of the bullshit in it. And the drummer for Miss May I believe, would order peanut butter from him because he was like sort of a natural, like an organic, healthy food eating dude. And he would order peanut butter from my brother.
Yeah, I met. There was a girl that I went to high school with, and she was cousins with. Oh God, what's the bassist's name from Miss May I? Ryan.
Oh, maybe
That
it was
her cousin.
it was Ryan. It was not the drummer. It was Ryan.
The bassist, yeah.
I think his last name is Ryan. Is it Ryan Neff?
Yeah.
Which is my
Yeah,
mother's
so-
maiden name, by the way. Which is fucking weird.
Might be related, bud.
So she was cousins
No.
with Ryan.
Yeah, dude, and I got there's them tickets are still at my mom's house, still in a box. And I have 2 tickets signed by everyone in the band, and I got those tickets in like 2011 or 12.
No shit.
So it's got Levi and Ryan and Robert. I can't remember the other guy's name, unfortunately.
Have you seen them in a while?
I went to a show. I went and seen Fit for a King in October or November, and Levi came to Bogart's, which is the show down there in Cincinnati. But I just said what's up to Levi, but I haven't seen him in a while.
Is that is Cincinnati the biggest city that you're close to?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because you had sent me your address to send you some stuff, and I typically will look it up just because I'm a pervert and I'm a creep, and I was very curious to where it was, but I didn't have a chance to yet. So that now you just answered my question. But you did say you were an iron worker out of the Cincinnati market, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Takes me about 48 minutes to get to Cincy every day.
Oh, so you're not that close.
No, but I say it's close. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Columbus is an hour and a half. Dayton's about an hour. Cincinnati's about an hour. Like
Okay.
where I live, it's considered a village. It's so small.
Yeah. Okay. I'm in Ohio a lot. I don't have, my market does not go below Columbus. So I'll work all the northern, all the way across the turnpike over to Cleveland. I'm in Cleveland a ton. I'll go south to Akron, Canton area for work, and then I have one project in Columbus, but we have somebody else that handles the Cincinnati market. I fucking, people from Michigan bag on Ohio. I know it is a sports reason. I'm not that guy.
I'm not either.
Fucking love Ohio.
Yeah, if they'd keep the fucking data centers out of here, it'd be a lot better.
Yeah, there's a problem. I've noticed that.
It's getting unreal.
What are we going to do about that?
You just do what everybody wants to do and just take all politicians out.
And you know what I always find interesting, and I just had this conversation with somebody. I don't remember where I was at or who it was with, but you'll notice these data centers are going into towns where the townspeople are either of a certain age and demographic that they cannot physically get involved and voice their opinion, and therefore the municipality or the board or whomever it is that's making the decision they're almost voting without opposition because the people are either too old or they just don't realize what's going on, or the townspeople are so few that, again, the lobbyists are winning because the money is going to make sense for the town. And so you're not finding them in big cities where people are the most vocal, or where the blue collar, red blooded Americans wouldn't stand for it. You're finding it where there are blue collar, red blooded Americans, but they're outnumbered dramatically.
Yeah, so if you whenever you get time, look up Wilmington, Ohio data center. They tried to put one in Wilmington, which is about 20 minutes north of me, and two people started a petition and they shut the whole thing down and they dug into it to where they didn't whoever was trying to put the data center didn't have the permits. So all the funding and everything just got like dismantled and now they like whoever's got to do it's going to restart, but that whole entire community said like, nah, we ain't doing this shit.
Yeah, and you know, you got fucking. Listen, I'm a 3-time Trump voter. Hand to God, that's I did. I voted for Trump 3 times. I am not fucking happy right now. I do not like the fact that he went out and said, "Listen, you just got to get on board with data centers." I'm not okay with that shit.
I voted for him 3 times as well. Um, and I will never vote for another politician ever again because I've come to the realization they are all scumbags. All they care about is money. Not a single one of them have ever worked a day in a blue collar shoes. And I'm sick and fucking tired of hearing them about how they want to help the normal blue collar citizen when none of them don't even know what the fuck a day in the life is.
They all say the same shit, and it's all bullshit.
All of it.
Now, I will say that the reason I voted for Trump is because I think the alternative, he is substantially better than what the alternative was, but he certainly hasn't blown my fucking skirt up.
No, I hate them all. I really do. I hate the government so much right now just because, like, just seeing, like, you know, you get older and you really start to dive into how it all works, you know, and now I'm just like, well, you guys all suck.
Yeah.
Especially being in the union. I know a lot of people are like, oh, unions vote blue, and they do, but if you really dig into like how we win work and how jobs are bid and right to work states are and all that shit, it's just all of them suck. Every politician sucks.
Yes, sir. We are not going to spend our entire podcast today talking about politics. I can promise you all that. So I hope you have all held tight. You haven't hit fast forward because we're not going to spend the whole time talking politics. But speaking of politics, and it's what I wrote down, and it's what I want to circle back to, we've been talking a lot of negativity, okay? But as somebody who spends a lot of time in the outdoors and who is a quote-unquote killer, your words, not mine, I agree with you. In fact, not many people are saying that about they're not willing to say that about themselves. I love it. Tell me some good stuff that you're seeing in the industry. There are so many people who spend so much time talking about the negative stuff. The EHD, CWD, we're killing too many bucks. There's too many does on this property. You shoot a crossbow. You're a faggot. No, you're a faggot. Like, there's too much negativity. Give me a few things that you think are really great about hunting in this industry today.
The community. If you find a group of people that you really fuck with, the community is it's unmatched. It really is. Like, and I think that deer hunting off the internet in the communities is like the most positive thing. I think that honestly, if you want my like honest opinion, I think if everybody would get the fuck off the internet and stop being brand loyalist and go try everything, you won't have to fucking argue about what's good and what's not. Because what a lot of people don't see is a lot of these brands are paying your big time guys that everybody watches, and they want to follow those big time guys and then be like, oh, well, I run Moultries because they're better, and that's what Chris B's doing. He's probably getting paid. You know what I mean?
He's 100% getting paid. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it all is. And like, if you really find a group of people, like I'll name 5 people: Austin Brandenburg, Dustin Cole, Hunter Simmons, River Smith. That's my group of people. And none of us are brand loyalists to anything. We try everything. I know 2 guys in that group that run 2 Moultries, 2 guys in that group that run 2 tack cams. I run Blackgates. Like, none of us bash on any of it because it all works. You know what I mean? We have some differences, but if you find that group of people and you can talk hunting, everybody just stay neutral and like really vibe with each other, the industry is amazing if you just take the bullshit out of it.
What else?
Mm, I mean, the way hunting's going in my part, like where I live, it's thriving. There's there's no, I don't even know how to put it. There's not really much negativity anywhere. Like everybody around is always like, "Oh, you shot that 130? That's awesome. Hey, you shot that, 80-inch 6 point deer? Shoot what you like. That's awesome. Who gives a shit?" Like me personally, I'm a fucking killer, dude. Like my buck I shot two bucks last year. I shot one in Kentucky and one in Ohio. I shot a 3 pointer in Ohio because I was having fun. It's fun. Stop making it not fun and because that guy shot a 160 and that guy shot a 3 pointer. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, and you're not saying that if you had a 160 again, you wouldn't shoot it.
Right, yeah.
But you're also
Like,
you're not holding out and making yourself miserable to try and meet some metric that the industry or the internet has deemed making you worthy enough.
yeah, like I did that last year. I took 14 days off in the rut, and it got to the point where I was so mentally drained. It felt like a job. I wasn't having fun. I was so burnt out. I didn't even want to pick my bow up or turn my alarm off. And I just went out there and said, "Fuck it, dude. I gotta stop caring what people think and what the expectation is. Because if you're just a fucking killer, the expectation is to kill."
Yeah. And I assume you guys eat
fun.
venison all year.
Oh, dude, I killed 5 deer last year, and I told Haley 2 days ago, I said, we're down to one roast and 2 packs of burger.
Kind of stressful. At least the season's right around the corner.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So the community and the fact that locally, on a local level, everything is very positive.
Yes.
What else? And listen, I thought about asking you this ahead of time to give you an opportunity to plan this answer, but I don't want that. I want you to think about it because I'm sure there are things, because I know that I do this. I think so much on a couple things that I forget to think outside the box. And so I know it feels like I'm putting you on the spot, like it's a test, but it's really just to see what you're coming up with, because I'm very curious. I love it. The first two answers have been phenomenal.
I can give you kind of like a backstory thing about a positive that happened like last year in the hunt community. When you're an iron worker, you can go work for multiple contractors all the time, laid off, whatever. I met a buddy. Never met him a day in my life. We just went to work, and I seen he had an Elite sticker on his lunchbox. And I walked up to him, and I said, "I didn't know you were gay. Like, I thought we were cool, you know?" And we got to bullshitting, and now he's one of my closest friends. His name's Matt Marshall. But it all started just because of a sticker, and I noticed another hunter. And now we are, like, such good friends to where I'll go and hunt his property for Kentucky because he lives in Kentucky. And there's no shame on either side. We share cameras, and he'll be like, "What do you think about this deer?" I said, "Shoot that deer. Who gives a shit?" But it's always, there's nothing negative where none of us are like, "Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. You shouldn't use that. You should," because we just vibe off each other, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people need more of that in that community, really.
And honestly, that was kind of how this here started. Is you said, "Hey man, I need a damn sticker from a lunchbox." I said, "Okay, no problem. I can handle that." And when you just told that story, it made me think a little bit about how secretive people are these days. And I will tell you this: I have really hesitated putting stickers on my truck. Like, I have the ARO sticker because I fucking paid for the stickers, and I'm going to put them on my goddamn vehicle. But I have other stickers that I thought about putting on my vehicle. And I stopped. And I said, "Brett, you don't want people to know where you are." And I don't necessarily love that I ever took that approach to this whole thing. Like, who fucking cares? I will tell you. I'll literally, if you were to call me on the phone and say, hey man, where are you hunting in Ohio? I would send you a pin in Onyx. Yet here I am, hesitant to put a latitude sticker on my truck cap thing, because I don't want anybody to go, oh man, he must have nice shit in there and he must know what he's doing. Like I have been like tried to be secretive about this whole thing, and I think I'm going about it the wrong way.
I think I used to have a bunch of stickers on my old truck, and I got a new truck this year. That's a longer story. I don't want to get into that. But I have Blackgate stickers, Matthews, Latitude, Working Class. I'll have yours soon. But I don't put them on my truck, kind of for the same reason. And I like staying in the shadows. Like, my closest friends know who I know. I have certain people on Snapchat that I know. I talk to certain people, but I don't flaunt that. You know what I mean? I like to stay in the shadows, and the guys that I do know, those are my homies, and I talk to them on a personal basis for info or to communicate or ask for advice. But it's not like, like Jordan Jones from Hunting the Mason-Dixon is one of my closest homies. I talk to him almost every day, but I don't go out there and be like, yeah, I'm going to go hang out with Jordan Jones. You guys are lit. Because that's douchebag mentality. Just be a real fucking person,
Yeah.
But I like to stay back in the shadows, and I like to watch how the industry goes, and I like to see who's doing what, and then make my own opinion on it.
But when you say in the shadows, are you trying to avoid having people figure out where you're hunting all the time? What you're doing?
Strategy wise, a little bit, yeah. Because
okay.
I have a bunch of private farms, but I've been dabbling a lot in public.
Okay.
So, yeah, I get what you're saying about that too. Like, you don't want somebody to know where you're at. Which, if they recognize you and they see you there, they're gonna hit you up or whatever.
And it's not like I'm a fucking big buck stalking killer. Like, I'm not Jake Bush, but I've had dudes, not because they knew I was there, but I've had guys walk in on me in the morning on public in Illinois, and it's frustrating. And so maybe there's a part of me that's trying to avoid a bunch of that long term. But also, like, just kind of going back to this, the community is small, the community is private, the community is uplifting, the community is engaged in and excited for you. Shouldn't I just be kind of like, hey man, this is a great spot, you should come hunt this, I'll go hunt somewhere else? Like, or is that too positive? Am I being too positive?
I think only to your closest homies you do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Like my buddy Matt, squirrel season opened up on the 15th of August, and he texted me the other day, and he's like, hey, found this really sick piece of public. And I said, what's it look like? Because, I live in Ohio. He's down there. And he's like, looks good. You want me to send you a pin? And maybe we'll go do this on opening weekend. Like, a positive guy in the community, in your circle, doesn't say that. He goes, yeah, I'm on this piece of public. You have to check it out. And he'll just send you the name of the public, if he even wants to do that.
Yeah, I was just talking to another guy who came and picked up a hat. So he ordered a hat, and he came and picked it up at the house the other day. And he was talking about going down to hunt in Ohio. And I was like, oh, hey, man, I'll send you some pins of some places that I think you should get your feet wet. Like, I know you've never hunted Ohio. I know you're excited about it. I know you've been hunting. Like, I'm going to send you some pins, but I'm not going to send you my pins. I'm going to send you a generic pin, because I also don't want to take away that never before been here sensation. Like, you need to go with a fresh set of eyes, instead of like, I'm just going to this pin this guy sent me. Because I think you'll miss stuff along the way if people are doing the work for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like the assholes on the Ohio Whitetail page. Like, years ago, I said, or I didn't. Well, I can say what I just said. Like, hey, Been thinking about hunting this piece public. How pressured is it? And everybody's like, go fucking look for yourself, asshole. You know, go do the work, blah, blah. Or it's like the out-of-staters that are like, hey, we're coming down. We can only e-scout so much. And they're like, well, we don't want you here. Like, dude, if that guy works hard for his money and buys his fucking tag to support the state and the fucking ODNR, don't be a douchebag. You don't have to send him a direct pin, but be like, yeah, man, like this piece of public, if it was me, I'd get there, you know, way before gun or early season. Or, hey, man, if you're really serious about it, I can send you a couple pins on what I've seen for sign. Not just be such an asshole about it. And that's a negative side of that community.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you just find the positive sign, quit talking to the old white fucks that go out 2 days a year and are like, oh, yeah.
It's funny you say that. I think there's a common theme in the negativity tonight, and it does kind of go back to social media, but not to ruin it all, because similarly, you've also commented about how great of a community you can cultivate by using social media. But I would say this, to couple what you just said, I had one very negative interaction, kind of really rubbed me the wrong way. Somebody tried to big dick me on a Facebook group, and that's fine. But I specifically reached out to this person because I knew where they're from and I knew where I was going, and I was honestly trying to just get in the door and initiate a conversation and potentially cultivate a friendship, because I didn't know this person very well, just to kind of even then parlay that into some podcast stuff. And he immediately tried to big dick me, and I was like, my whole question was, can you tell me if this particular area is heavily pressured or not? That's it. That's all. And I did use the name of the location, and his immediate response was, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's not use names of properties. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, how else am I going to know the answer to my question if I don't use the name of the fucking property, you clown? Immediately left that Facebook group and have not interacted with that clown ever again. I cannot stand that person. I'm out. He's local. But I love Ohio. Let me tell you, I love Ohio, man. And the reason I love Ohio is because you can get everything. You can get farmland up north. You can get medium hills in the middle, and you can get big fucking hills down south.
Yeah, like southeast, you get a lot of rolling hills. But I'm over in like southwest. Like I live in Brown County, and I hunt. I have a private piece in Adams County, and then I have a couple of private pieces in Clinton, Brown, and Warren County. So
Okay.
I'm more like flatland, but once we get out to Adams, you get some rolling hills.
Yeah. When you what made you want to start hunting public, considering you had experience and have several private pieces? What made you even want to get into some public ground?
So I like to challenge myself, and I like the work and the grind, like everything. I don't have a quad, and I don't have a four-wheeler, and I don't have a razor. I don't have any of that. So like all my properties, I've always carried stuff in, and I always enjoyed the grind of doing it all. And I feel that if you want to be really successful at bow hunting and kill something once a year, I feel like you have to not be so complacent in one spot. And I think you should go challenge yourself and see like what other people experience. Like I'm grateful for private. One day it's going to not be there no more. Like farmers are going to die, families are going to sell off, and then you're going to be 20 years deep into your quote unquote bow hunting career, trying to go on public and not knowing what the fuck you were doing because you were so complacent. And it's fun. It's so fun. I love public. It's fun.
I'm gonna clip that. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say it quite like you said it. Where you're gonna be 20 years deep in your private land bad habits, and it's gonna go away. And you're going to look around and go, now what? Because the chances are good that you haven't put any effort into any additional farms. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying Jimmy Bowhunter, Johnny Bowhunter, Johnny Hunter, not even necessarily Bowhunter. You're going to be 20 years deep in your bad habits or your lazy, complacent habits, assuming you're lazy and complacent. The farm goes away. Now what? That's a really great way to look at that.
Yeah, like I didn't start dabbling in public until last year, really. I had a EHD hit Southwest Ohio last year so bad, it was horrible. And a lot of the bucks that I was chasing, they were gone or dead. And I got to a point where I was like, I'm chasing ghosts here, and I really need to just, pick up your bootstraps and go try and figure out public. And I did. I went to a place by my house, and it was the first time that I went on this, I scouted it, but I'm like first going in and hunting it. And I thought I made so much noise that nothing would come out trying to get in. And the first night I sat there, there's 3 does that came out. And it was like the feeling I had was like when you shot your first deer. So I was like, holy shit, I got on deer on public. I'm seeing deer on public. And now I want to get to, like, this year, there's a certain piece of public I've had a camera sitting in since April, and it hasn't produced much, but I know that it's going to produce come October and November. And I want to kill a booner on public. Not this year, but like just in general. That's one of my main goals, is I want to get good at hunting public. Just for the simple fact that I'm telling everybody, like, your farms, your private land permissions and all that shit, you can see it now. You can see, going back to data centers, this land's getting sold off. Family trust and all that shit. Nobody wants to inherit all that. They just want money. So all their kids are selling it all. It's going to run out eventually. And if you don't try to dabble in it and get stuck in your lazy ways, you can't throw fucking corn out on public, bud. You can't just sit there on the corn pile for 20 years. It's going to go away, and then you're going to be fucked.
Yeah, and I think what you just said also it triggered a little thought for me there. It's really easy to get online and take a picture of some mountains and then type in some words like, we will fight for this public land. Because if the private land goes away, who's to say that the government won't sell off all the public land too? And then before you know it, the government's artificially making beef and growing eggs in a lab and putting fucking cockroaches in muffins, and you're eating fucking cicada protein bars. And the government has sold off all the public land to data centers in China, and all the farms you used to hunt are gone. And so I think, I'm not great at it, but I did a little bit this year, getting involved in your local government to try to put our feet down as a collective of hunters and outdoors people, that we don't want we want our public land to remain public. And we want it saved for not just our generation, but for generations to come. And if we don't fight, they will find ways to get rid of it all. I firmly believe that.
I believe that. Yeah. I mean, I tell a lot of people all the time, like, one day this shit's going to be gone. And they're always like, oh, no, it won't. Maybe not in our lifetime, but when it will go away.
Your daughter's lifetimes. My daughter's lifetimes.
Yeah.
Could definitely
Everything
happen.
will be a fucking neighborhood. Everything will be a data center. And it sucks to say, but eventually it will go away.
Yeah.
But circling back to public, I did kill my first turkey tom on public this year.
No shit.
Yeah.
I can't kill a fucking turkey. I'm private, let alone public.
My buddy Matt from Kentucky is a massive turkey hunter. Like, he is turkey hunter first before deer, but goes back to like scouting too. We went out in March and we scouted one piece of public. Come opening day, there was 3 cars sitting there. So we just drove around scouting, and I think that's where woodsmanship comes into as well. And I killed my bird opening day of Ohio, and I was done.
When does Ohio open for turkey? Is there multiple seasons for turkeys in Ohio?
there's two, but I think May, or maybe it's like the last week. I think it's the last weekend of April is when it opens, and then the Northeast doesn't open until like mid to late May.
You are. Reason. I remember that now. I was going to do some scouting this spring, and then I decided to avoid it due to turkey season. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy that's traipsing around and dudes are trying to shoot turkeys and shit. You're right. I remember there is like a zone in the state.
Yeah. But that's, yeah. And I don't like, that's why I'll go and scout. I won't go and scout until March, always. I don't go and shed hunt in February or anything like that. I go in March because I know that's the 1 month it's left alone until turkey season starts in April.
Mm-hmm.
And then I won't go back in until June, unfortunately, when all the fucking ticks and the heat and
it's been like so bad. I have not had tick problems. So we have chickens. We have like 30, but somewhere between 20 and 30 chickens. Like 3 or 4 more just hatched the other day. So as soon as the snow melts into like April, there's a few ticks. Those chickens eat, so they have to be eating them all because we have no ticks on our property, and I live kind of in the woods. So I got a few acres, and there's no ticks. I do permethrin all my stuff. I've not really had an issue with ticks this year. Knock on wood. Do you feel like they're bad down by you?
5.
Are you shitting me?
Oh my God, no, I got bit by 5 this year, and I had permethrin on all my Alcio gear.
Damn.
Soaked it and everything. Yeah, I got bit by 5, but yeah, they were horrible this year.
Has it been wet down there?
It's the wettest summer I've ever seen in my life, and I was gonna bring that up. I think that's why. Shout out to like my group, because everybody's like, "Where's the bucks?" I'm like, they got no reason to leave anything that's green right now because it has been so wet. Like beans aren't even yellow yet; they're still green.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, some of those when it was super dry, some of those northern counties, the fucking corn and beans were yellowed out, completely yellowed out, and some of the bean fields were leafed out, no leaves left in like August. But you're right, man. I know it's been hammering the like northwest part of Ohio down into Columbus. Like my Columbus job site's constantly underwater. But I just wasn't sure if it was getting all the way down to you guys too. Do you feel like that plays a big part of how your deer behave on your properties that you hunt?
Yeah, I think the like wetness for sure, because there's so much browse on the neighbors that they don't have to come across yet to get to the green bean fields. Because the way I think of it is all these bucks, wherever they bed, there's got to be so much browse around them that they have no reason at all to get up and go check anything. It hasn't dried out down there. Nothing's brown. And even with that being said, I still get pictures of bucks and beans, and I get the bachelor groups and the beans, but it's not like last year when the drought was, where they were hammering all the acorns, because the acorns are still going to hold on because everything's so moist and wet. But yeah, like once all of the browse dries out, then you'll start to see all the bucks moving back into feed or whatever. Like I got a bunch of corn piles in Kentucky, and they're hammering them corn piles right now. But on that specific piece, they haven't got as much rain as we have. So I think whatever they're hitting is starting to dry up, because in the past week, we're starting to see all these bucks show up now.
Interesting. And historically, when do you start to see new bucks?
My one main piece of private, that's a hard line toe, because the neighbor fucked up all of where the bucks used to bed. He turned it all into cow pasture. So last year they had to reroute, instead of coming off their property across this drainage up into where we were. Now they have to reroute. So last year was hard, but I don't really I see a lot of bucks. I probably have 10 shooters every summer on my one farm, and then they disappear. But that's because my main private farm, It's mostly bean field with some hardwoods, a lot of hardwoods on the top, but the neighbors have all the big beddings and everything like that. But to answer your question, uh, the last 2 weeks of October into November, and then
Okay.
whoever's still alive, stays around.
That's interesting. I feel like I have historically had a few homebodies every year on our particular property. And then I would say that right around now, in August, I will start to see new bucks. But also similarly, some of those bucks that have been there all year long will not be the bucks that live there all season long. Those are actually the bucks that I see the most throughout the year historically leave. And it's actually the new bucks that come in. Usually one or two of those will actually stay in our block. So that's very interesting that you see new ones. Obviously, you're like 5 hours south of me, so obviously things are different down there. The topography is very different. So that's interesting that it's that much later in the season. Do you have a lot of hard mass trees down there?
Only in like one spot. It's up on, so the property, it's got two big fields. The top end is a bean field and the bottom end it's been a bean field, and they've always been bean fields. The farmer doesn't rotate. It's the weirdest
Wow.
shit I've ever seen. Never. I've hunted there almost 10 years and I've never seen him rotate. It's always been beans. But the top end, it's got a huge like oak flat. We call it used to be an old logging road, but there's a bunch of oaks down there. And then down in the bottom, it's more of like running the property line. It's like a thin section of woods where you can get up and hunt the edge of the fields. But I don't really have much trees there now. In my Adams County property, that's different. That's all, a lot of it's hardwoods. But that property doesn't pop off until last week October.
Mm-hmm.
And then my main property in Clinton County, that property jumps with just deer roaming all over during the summer, and then come the last weekend of July, August, a lot of my big bucks disappear. Like I have history with 4 deer, and I never see them until the second week of November, and then they don't come back around until January.
Have you ever tried to get access to anybody's property adjacent to yours?
It's all pressured, all of it. Every fucking
Oh, Jesus. Is it pressured by families, or is it pressured by leases, or is it a combination?
The one on the left side is a lease family property that has like 25 people that lease like sections. Yeah, it's insane. Like they lease like 5 acres here, and then they draw it out, and then they'll lease like 10 acres here, and only those guys go there. And then the right side is a family property, and it's only like 12 or 13 acres. But the guy behind us is such a fucking douchebag. He's the biggest asshole I've ever met in my life. He doesn't hunt it. He turns all of it into cow pasture. I shot a good buck 3 years ago and I asked him for permission. He told me to go fuck myself. But he's just like, that's how he is. So I couldn't even go in there if I gave him $1 million.
Is he, how old is he?
Like 50s. His dad used to own the farm that I hunt. And then when the farmer bought it, he still thinks that he should have the rights to it, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm always curious what generation it is that's so anti-access. Is it? I'm legitimately I don't know. Is it 60, 70, 80? Is it 30, 40, 50? And I think it's more that 40, 50, 40s and 50s. I think it's that age that is like abso-fucking-lutely not.
Yeah, and I think it's got a lot to do with like maybe how they grew up and who they are too, you know.
They grew up in the same era that I did. I'm 45, so I'm in that sweet spot of bullshit there. Everybody sues everybody for everything. You fall down on my fucking property, I'm gonna sue you. Like,
I printed out, I don't know, 15 papers. I had my wife type them up at work, and it was to mail them out, because I found it almost easier to get permission if you send a letter. with your phone number on it, and then they can talk to you, and then you can be like, okay, hey, you want to meet up? Because I'm a heavily tattooed guy, dude. I got 2 sleeves, I got a leg sleeve, and then I've got my neck done, and I've got big gauges. So, if I'm gonna walk up to that quote unquote generation, they're gonna be like, you want to grow meth out here, you want to make something out here? Fuck you, get out of here. You know what I mean?
How does meth grow?
Oh well, yeah, you get what I'm saying.
I didn't know there was a meth plant.
Yeah,
I hear ya. I bring a change of fucking clothes because I also have 2 full sleeves and a partial leg tattoo. Like I have a tooth little thing that I put in there too. Like I do not want Lenore, who I go knock on her door, to fucking have a panic attack when she sees me standing on her porch. I want to cover as much as possible.
Right. Yeah. I'll usually go, if I'm gonna go a door knock, I'll go in my work clothes to show that I have a job. You know what I mean?
That's smart.
Of them think you're scumbags. So, but yeah, I mean, new book. Going back to your new bucks, I have like a small window. Usually, it's end of October until November, the second week of November. Then gun season comes in. They just slaughter everybody because they're gay, and then it's a joke. It's a joke. Let me just clear that up. And then usually late season's really good too because we do food plots, so we usually have all the food left.
Don't you ever qualify calling somebody gay ever again. You let her rip. You hear me? You just fucking let it rip. It's fucking fine. Everything is fine. We say retard. We say gay. We say fag. It's 2026. Everything's fine. If you want to be gay, be gay. Just don't be gay on me.
Right.
It's fine, man. I don't care. So again, I want to go way back again to like some positive things. And, Ohio is managed substantially different than Michigan as far as the deer herd and hunting and non-residents and so on and so forth. And there's also a lot of differences, which everybody knows, like baiting. If you had the magic lever and you could change one thing in Ohio, what would you change as far as deer management is concerned?
Crossbow season has their own fucking season.
I love that. I just heard that recently from somebody, and where would you put it?
During muzzleloader season, so it's 2 fucking days long.
Okay, so you would do it similar or during muzzleloader season?
I would do it similar. I would do it more late season, really.
Okay.
Now, with that being said, if you want to shoot a crossbow, you need to bring a doctor's note. If you're a able-bodied man, that says, this is what's wrong with me. I don't knock people if they, like my buddy River broke his back years ago. He got slung in a fab shop and broke 5 vertebrae in his back. That would consider qualified to shoot a crossbow. If you are 13 years and under, you can go shoot a crossbow during archery season. But if you're, let's just say 14, if you're 14 years and older and you want to shoot a crossbow, you're going to have to wait till crossbow season. If you have a torn rotator cuff, then you can go there. If you have a medical emergency where you can only shoot a crossbow, that's fine. But all these guys that are like 28, 29, sitting in a double stand with their crossbow shooting deer at 50 yards, get your own fucking season, and it's 2 days long.
Let me play devil's advocate for just a second, because I just want you to know I don't disagree with you. I'm just going to play devil's advocate for the sake of this conversation. How would you feel about a permit that allows you a limited amount of time to hunt with a crossbow before you have to graduate into a different hunting apparatus, a different weapon? There's the fucking word I'm looking for. Weapon. Here's why I say that. Let's say you are 30 years old, and let's say it is your first season and you get talked into going hunting and you just want to see if you like it. But you buy this limited time archery permit for crossbow, and then it expires in, let's say, 2 seasons. Let's say you can buy a crossbow permit for 2 seasons, and after 2 seasons, you can't get a crossbow permit anymore. You have to have graduated into a vertical bow and or a firearm. What do you think about that? Because what it's doing is it's getting new people into the sport. Just for argument's sake.
I understand, and MFJJ said it really well.
Who?
When he said it is bring MFJJ. Do you know who he is?
No.
Motherfucking Josh Jones. He's like, he runs Podium Archery.
I've heard of Podium Archery. I know who you're talking about, but I've never heard of MFJJ before. I like that.
Yeah. He said it good. Like, it is bringing people in the industry. The problem is it comes with the comfortability shits.
Yeah.
So I don't disagree with you on that, but make it 1 season.
1 season. Okay. I would listen to that. Yeah.
If you wanted to do it to where they're like, well, I'm not going to buy a 1300 crossbow for 1 season. Well, let's do this then. You buy that tag. The ODNR takes all that money. They buy a certain amount of crossbows. You borrow that crossbow for that season, and then you give it back, so you're not wasting your $1,300.
I got a better idea. You buy a $400 crossbow from fucking Dunham's, you see if you like it, and then you sell that fucking crossbow on Facebook Marketplace for $200, and you put that $200 towards a vertical bow on eBay, and you're fucking fine. Because I would say, listen, I don't want to fucking... You either want to hunt or you don't want to hunt. Because guess what, pal? It's going to be a lot more than $1,300 when you learn that you like a vertical bow and you want to buy camo and you want to buy trail cameras and batteries and out-of-state tags. It's going to get more expensive. So just buy the $1,300 crossbow. Actually, I don't disagree with a single year because it doesn't take you 2 years to figure out if you want to do this.
Yeah, it'll take you 5 sits.
5 sits.
Shit to figure out if you want to do it. I agree, 100%.
Yeah, that's really...
Crossbow's got to... It's too much nowadays. Okay. Like, every 160-inch whitetail is getting shot in Ohio opening day on a corn pile with a crossbow. Like, I wouldn't say every, but I'd say like 85%.
And you would not get rid of the corn pile.
No. I mean, I do it. But I don't do it all the time. I like to hunt natural funnels and fingers, ridges, all that shit. But at some point, the corn does help.
Sure.
But I don't think that it's as big as a deal as like everybody thinks it is.
Yeah. Again, I'm just curious because we cannot bait it. We can't bait in Michigan. It happens, but we cannot bait in Michigan. But when I first came back to Michigan in 2017, after having not hunted in 13 years, we could bait, and we had feeders, and we had corn piles, and we had mineral sites. But I didn't see the deer that I see now, not having been able to bait for 7 years. Like I have no desire to bait ever again. I will tell you this. I had a lease in Ohio, and there were fucking giants on that little 23-acre lease. But I couldn't keep up with the 200-acre lease next to me with feeders everywhere. And as soon as my piles ran out, the deer were fucking gone, man. Like I couldn't just drive 6 hours on a whim to refresh my corn piles. Those fucking deer were gone, and they would never come back because it was everywhere else. And that's my bad. That's my problem.
Right. Yeah. But like, what is like the data showing that like corn piles have such a, like, what's the harm?
Oh, I honestly don't think there is one. I just think that some people make that argument that baiting's got to go. And some people make the argument, like you said, about crossbow needs to have its own season. And I can see both. I wish they would legalize baiting again in Michigan, because it's just this thing that we're making people feel guilty that are doing it anyway. Like you're in every gas station sells it. So it's happening. So just legalize it. You've already acknowledged that people can bait at their house. So you can actually feed deer in your own yard within 300 yards of your home. the initial argument against baiting was CWD related. So it spreads CWD too easily, but just not within 300 yards of your house. So like, let's just legalize baiting. Just not on public, just private. Because I don't want corn piles all over public.
Oh, that'd be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
That would be a headache. Yeah, I used to bash on the baiting because I used to do it and then I stopped. And then I'm doing it again, but it's legal, so who gives a shit?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I'm always curious what people's number one is, and yours is crossbow seasons. I can see it.
Yeah, it would be that, or I'm definitely gonna step on some toes with this because it's good but it's just my opinion. I don't really give a fuck. I think that there needs to be a rule on fucking leases because it is getting outrageous. I think
what kind of rule?
Like, if you're gonna lease, start a hunting club and then have that do that, because leases now are like anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, and you're taking away people's opportunity of door knocking. If we went back to just door knocking and then how people had those hunt clubs where you would pay into the hunt club to get a lease for a certain amount of people, that's what I think would be better. Because leases are they're crazy outrageous now. You can't go knock on nobody's fucking door without them being like, yeah, I got 2 guys from PA up here, they're leasing it for $5,500 a piece. But it's devil's advocate because you're bringing more hunters into the state and paying, for ODNR, but you're taking away people that live here to door knock and hunt that. I don't know. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I agree. I think there is a leasing problem. And I don't even know how you would begin to manage it. Like, I don't even know how you would begin to set parameters on what can and can't happen and how you manage that. And then people are always going to find a way around it. But yeah, it is interesting because they are outrageous. And I belong to Base Camp Leasing, and I log in 2 minutes before 8 o'clock on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I am on the Ohio state map every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, waiting for an affordable lease to pop up. And if you are not ready to buy it immediately, that bitch is gone. It's gone in seconds. Those leases are gone.
Yeah, it's taken away from hunting camps too. Like, I don't know anybody that does camps. I don't know a single person that would do camps. Like, me and my friends talk about doing a camp all the time, but then it's like, what, are we going to go camp out at a public spot?
Well, that's what I was just going to ask you is could you do like an Airbnb somewhere down in Southern Ohio in close proximity to a public piece, and then everybody kind of just goes out and does their own thing?
Yeah, you could. It'd be fun. That's a good idea. But I was just saying, like, in general, like, you couldn't. That's what I was getting at with them clubs too. Like, that's what hunting camp was for everybody to go in on a club and, rent it out for a week or something like that. I'm
relatively unfamiliar with these hunting clubs. I sort of always thought when somebody said hunting club, it was kind of like an outfitter, but I guess not. Am I misunderstanding that?
Like, I know a guy that I used to work with, and him and his dad were in a club, so it was like 20,000 acres.
Damn.
You pay your club fee for the year, which was like, I think it was $800 to $1,000. And then everybody that was, I think it had to be like 10 or 12 guys in the club for the year, they could go over that whole 20,000 acres.
So basically 2,000 acres a person.
Yeah.
That's a fucking shitload of land.
Yeah, but like the way that worked though is like, oh, hey, I don't want to pay for my club membership. I don't have the money. They'd be like, okay, well, your spot's given up. And then they'd be like, hey, we're looking for new members for this club.
Interesting. Yeah,
That's the way
that
I've been told about it.
Okay. And you said you were part of one at one point, or you knew somebody that was?
A guy I used to work with, he used to be in one. Him and his dad used to be in one for years.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I kind of like the idea. Like, I grew up going to a buddy's dad's place up North Michigan, and we were in our early 20s, so it was really a drinking event that sometimes had some hunting. Never deer, but we hunted. And then I moved away, and everybody else kind of moved away, so that doesn't exist for me anymore. And then nowadays, it's like, well, we take my camper to the campground and we hunt. We hang out, we have food, and then we go hunt this private piece in the mornings and the evenings. We're hanging out there during the day at the campground, but I don't really have a camp per se. But I would be willing to go in Southern Ohio and throw down on an Airbnb and like everybody just go hunt public. Like that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it would be fun for
Yeah.
sure. Like if you could get like a group of like 5 guys or something like that and go and run and gun on public and doing
Yeah.
it. God, I fucking love
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
running and gunning on public.
So let's talk a little bit about trail cameras, because I did not know that you had any sort of affiliation or that you worked for Blackgate. Like, why Blackgate?
So a couple years ago, I went. There's the Columbus Expo that happens up there. I seen Ryan, and I would just kind of like dabbled into like, oh, what's because I used to run tack cams. I'd be like, what's so different about Blackgate? And he kind of like explained how the data plans work. Like I can break down after I tell you all like that how a data plan works and tell you how much better Blackgate is than any other trail camera company. And it's not just because I worked there. I ran Blackgates before I even worked there. And I was like, okay, so I picked an R4G Gen 2 up. I just picked it up at the show and I ran it. And then I like how the quality is. But anyways, long story short, this past year I walked up to him and I said, Ryan, what do I got to do to get a job here? I got to sweep the floors for free. What do I have to do? And he was like, well, do you have an engineering degree? I was like, no, no, God, no. And he was like, okay. He's like, well, have you ever thought about like maybe customer service? And I was like, I'll do whatever to get my foot in the door. That's all I wanted. I just wanted somebody to take an opportunity, give me a foot in the door. He's like, give me your number. And I didn't hear from him for a couple months. And then in like mid-June, he texted me.
Of this
He
year?
said, hey, call me. Yeah, this year. He said, call me. So I called him, and he's like, are you sure? Are you 100% sure you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, man. Because now this year's going to be different. I got to learn how to hunt and work on the weekends at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, well, I'm just letting you know, like, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, okay. And I've been doing it since June. I do Saturdays and Sundays, 8 to 5. It's at home, though, so I still have freedom or whatever. But if you call in on the weekends and I pick up, I can walk you through everything and help you.
So like troubleshooting for your existing cameras, troubleshooting for like everything that could potentially come up with any sort of trail camera that Blackgate has.
Correct, yeah.
But what was it about Blackgate that you liked specifically? Because there's lots of trail camera companies, and some are fucking huge, and some are kind of just getting started. Like I got some buddies that are running with this trail camera company now that I've never heard of until the last couple months. But why Blackgate? Because I know Working Class runs Blackgate, and I know other people that do too. What did you like so much about them?
The data plans and the picture quality, the sound quality, the durability of the camera. Like it's just the way Blackgates run and the way their data plans are blows every trail camera company out of the water. Like Blackgate had before any I know how like Tacticam and Moultrie, they're like, oh yeah, our antennas pick up whatever server now. Well, 10 years ago, Blackgate always had whatever service was out there, it picked up on. You didn't have to buy an AT&T specific camera or a Verizon camera first. They also had the dual lens 10 years ago before everybody else. In their data plans, dude, I have 6 Blackgates right now, and I pay $28 a month.
Damn. That's a hell of a deal.
I don't know a single person that gets 40,000 pictures in a month. That's the highest data plan you can get from Blackgate.
That's wild, man.
So if you pay for the highest data plan from Blackgate, it's $60. That gets you 40,000 pictures a month. Not even an outfitter gets 40,000 pictures a month.
Is that shared amongst all your cameras, or is that per camera? 40,000 per camera.
That's what I'll explain. So let's say you have 10 cameras, right? The cheapest plan for Blackgate is $3. It gets 250 pictures that month. If you put one camera on the $60 40,000 plan, you add 9 cameras for $3. That gets you to 250. All of your cameras will share 42,250 pictures.
Holy shit!
And you will pay $87 for that specific plan that I just told you.
That's
I used
impressive.
to run 13 tac. I used to run 13 tac cams, $13 for unlimited. My bill was like $160 some dollars.
That's a lot of money, man. I know. I'm in the same category of too much money a month in trail cameras. Okay.
But our cameras up front, you're going to pay a little more up front, but their quality is unreal. The app is easy to run. You get good cheap data plan with great cell service. It's the only camera I know that Jordan Jones put out in the hills of North Carolina that got that picked up service on.
I'll be damned. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look into Blackgate more. I'm such a creature of habit that I've got all these cameras that are already in my possession, and I just can't even imagine. I can't even imagine switching over holistically everything at this point. But I'm sure at some point, I've pulled my hair out a lot this year just with problems with cameras, but and that has made me contemplate whether or not I even wanted to run cameras anymore. Just go back to SD cards. Does Blackgate offer SD card cameras, or are they all cell?
No, we're all cell. As of right now, we're all cell. I don't know anything about like what's coming out. That's kind of above me. But I do know that I've run solar panels from different cameras. We have the best solar panel you will ever buy in your entire life. We have a chew-proof cord. Like the cord is completely chew-proof.
What about the strap? That's what gets chewed the most for me, are straps.
It's insane. I've had an R4G Gen 2 out in the woods for 3 years with the same strap on it.
Very nice.
And I've moved it multiple times.
I noticed that you're an American-born technical support individual who you could call on the phone and understand them probably perfectly.
I did get a comment a couple weeks ago, and he said, I said, is there anything else I can do for you? He said, nah, I was just glad to speak to somebody who speaks fucking English. And I was like, okay, bud, well, you have a good day.
I get it. I understand how business works. I understand investment costs and returns and outsourcing. I totally understand all that stuff. But god damn it, it is hard to talk trail cameras to Prajwal, who is in another fucking country, and trying to tell me that the goddamn problem with my camera is a fucking leaf in front of it. Like, no, motherfucker, that's not the problem.
Right.
Whew. Go ahead.
I chose Blackgate too, dude, because they're out of Adams County. They're local. So,
also did not realize that.
Yeah, we support local guys. Blackgate's small, man. I think total it's like 5 or 6 employees in total, and like just in like the hire, and then we have the warehouse guys and engineers and stuff like that. But it's a solid small core group.
I think I did listen to them on Working Class, and I did really enjoy listening to them. They seem like good people.
Ryan is the nicest dude I've ever met. Like, when I was getting into this position, I have questions. I'm blue collar. I don't work on a computer. I don't, and I'd have to call him on the weekends and be like, hey, sorry for bothering you. He's like, buddy, I'm an owner of a business. You don't have to apologize for calling me. I'm always at work. I'm always available. I have text threads of being like, hey, I have so-and-so on the phone for this. Do I do this? Immediate. There it is,
Nice.
Or like, hey, let me put this guy on hold real quick. Let me call Ryan. Hey, I have this. He's like, oh, yeah, do this, and this. And I was like, okay, sorry. Enjoy your weekend. He's like, stop saying sorry. It's fine.
It's nice to hear that there's still good American companies that are running shit locally and with those good values.
Yeah.
Well, what do you plan on doing this year, man? Plan on just killing a bunch of deer?
Yeah, I got 2. I've got right now. So this will be my second year hunting Kentucky. I tagged out opening day last year, full velvet 8 and a doe. You get like 4 more tags, but I didn't really have
Are you
time,
serious?
and I just did tagged out. Yeah.
I did not know that. Damn.
Yeah, when you buy your license and tags, I think it comes with either 4 or 5. Yeah. But now I got a pretty wide, like 135, 148 that keeps showing up every day, every morning from 8 to noon, and then he comes back in at like 5. I plan on killing him. I'm definitely whacking and stacking every doe that comes in. I don't give a shit. And then in Ohio, it's gonna be tricky, but I have a drop tine buck that I'm after, and I know he's been in there on one camera. Like if you date back, it's November 8th at like 9:30 every day. I'm gonna try to kill him. But if I don't kill anything by late season, anything that's got horns is getting whacked. I don't give a shit.
So what is your cutoff? What do you consider like, okay, time's up, time to drop the hammer? Like, when is that? Thanksgiving?
The weekend after gun season. The weekend, no, because gun season starts the weekend of Thanksgiving. So the week after gun, it's over.
Okay. And why is that? I mean, I have an idea as to why that is, because do you feel like at that point the deer are gone?
Burnt. I hunt harder than all my friends.
Really?
I hunt almost every weekend. I'll take days off when a cold front comes in. I take 14 days off for the rut. So, by the time December comes, if I don't have a buck I've been targeting down, I will whack and stack anything that fucking walks in front of me.
You know what I was going to ask you earlier that I just thought about? So I've also heard people in Ohio talk about how Ohio needs to be either a draw state or like have a lower quota for non-resident tags. What are your thoughts on that?
It's like a catch-22, really. Because I want people to come hunt Ohio because Southern Ohio is giants. Like, there's giants everywhere. But I don't, if it don't affect me, I don't really give a shit. I guess that's my take on it. I mean, maybe, a draw would be fair. But Ohio's open to a lot of shit, dude. I feel like we have, like, the most less strict state in the country. Like, we have an open crossbow season. We have bait everywhere. We're an over-the-counter state. Like, I guess that's part of it, what makes it good, except for the crossbow fags. But other than that, it's all right.
Yeah, interesting. Illinois used up all of their non-resident tags last year, and for the first time in most people's like recollection, they're like, "Whoa, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that before, that we've used up all of our non-resident tags." Do you think that if Ohio went to a reduced quota for non-resident tags, that it would actually drive the lease prices even fucking higher?
Yeah, me and Jordan Jones have talked about that before too. Like, if the lease prices were to skyrocket, I mean, yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head, really. I don't really have an answer for that or a rebuttal.
I have a feeling that if you reduce the quota for non-resident tags in Ohio, I have a feeling that it would cause the cost of leases to go through the fucking roof.
I agree wholeheartedly.
And then people would never fucking let them go, because once you get one, I worry about that. I have a lease in Illinois, and I worry about that. It's like, man, I love this lease. I plan on keeping it for as long as I possibly can. Yes, it goes up a little bit every year, but it's fucking amazing. Like, if for some reason I were to not get a tag next year, would I keep my lease? And the answer is, I think so. because I don't want to lose out on that opportunity.
I would never let a lease go because I'm a selfish prick like that.
And so think about that. Now you've got land that not only are you not hunting, nobody's fucking hunting it because the guy didn't want to let it go. So is that good or is that bad? Is that good because there's deer? Is it almost like a deer sanctuary? Do you have a potential for trespassing because so-and-so knows that Randy didn't get a fucking tag this year, so Randy ain't going to be there, so let's go hunt Randy's property? Are you going to have trespassing problems? Interesting.
I mean, it's a whole rabbit hole we could go down, for real.
Yeah. Jesus. So Ohio and Kentucky. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yep. No, I was just going to say, just like them banning trail cameras now in certain states, that's stupid as shit. If you want to be honest, you're killing small business, really.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Do you know how many trail cameras I have that do not do me any good? I would say 80% of my trail cameras are just there. Like they haven't gotten me any deer. They haven't killed any fucking deer. They're just there. Maybe my hopes were that they would help me out, but they didn't. So fucking what? Like I go to Kansas, you can't put a trail camera out. If I were able to put trail cameras in Kansas, it's not a fucking guarantee anyway.
I don't think it's going to do anything like they think where, oh, yeah, more booners are going to live. I don't think that's the case because a lot of people have good woodsmanship. If you can hunt off woodsmanship, you can hunt off anything. All that is just, for me, I keep it as intel. I don't go, I'm going straight to that fucking spot because that deer was there. No, I keep it for intel to see who's alive, who's dead, who uses this trail. What are they doing?
Yeah, I've never heard what the argument was to ban them. If it was to give deer another chance, I got to tell you, I think it's going to make people shoot more deer. Because I think if you have a camera that's showing you a deer, I think the majority of hunters are going to go to where that camera is and then not move. But now if they don't have cameras, now they're going to move around and they're either going to bump deer to other people or they're going to find those deer that they would have otherwise never found, and then they're going to kill them. I think more deer are going to get killed.
It's very possible.
Yeah, interesting.
I hate to see that shit because it doesn't matter what camera company you run. It's a downhill effect. Kansas is going to ban it. Michigan's going to ban it. Ohio's going to ban it. Illinois is going to ban it. Like, you're killing small business. If we're such a greedy fucking country with money, why you want to start taking away money? You know?
Yeah. All right, Ohio and Kentucky. You ever think about going west? Any further west?
No, not really. I would do anything to go to Iowa or Illinois just one time for a week. But that would be, I really have to focus this year on, and thank God for Ryan. He, we talked about it, whatever, but I get opening weekend of Kentucky off. Nice. So I'll have 3 days to hunt Kentucky, but I really got to figure out how I'm going to hunt and manage, the trail camera thing, which is perfectly fine with me. Just because, like I said, I got Ryan to take an opportunity on me, so I'm going to fulfill that,
Yeah.
But no, I'd love to do Iowa or Illinois one time. Indiana's a sleeper state. I know a bunch of guys that kill booners out of Indiana. But that's my plans right now. My goal this year is to kill at least 8 deer.
8
just
deer.
Because we murdered.
All right.
Yeah, because we murdered 5 deer this year. Like, me and my whole family, we ate it all.
Yep, I didn't shoot enough last year, and I feel bad about it.
Really?
I feel bad about it because I spent a lot of time in the woods, and I did not put enough venison in our freezer for my family. Like, we ran out and had to buy part of a cow. And so I think to myself, I spent so much time away from my family to shoot deer, and I spent all this money on tags, and I either passed or screwed up. And so I actually felt bad. Like, fuck, I should have shot more deer. I shouldn't have passed. I shouldn't have. Like, there's one specific memory that I have of this doe in Kansas, and I passed because I didn't want to deal with it. And that makes me so fucking mad. That's what I got to break this year is I don't want to deal with it. I got to break that bad habit.
Yeah, I don't think of, just in my experience, I don't ever think of I don't want to deal with it until it's already been done.
Oh, yeah. You're like, oh, fuck.
Because yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
I don't know, man. There's just something about sending an arrow through a doe that just gets me jacked up.
I shake just as much, dude.
Oh, God, I love it.
Yeah.
I got 2 weeks, and I'm putting an arrow through any doe that walks in front of me first day.
Are you ready for opening day? Or I mean, I know opening day is what, like the 27th this year, maybe 26th, 27th for you.
For Ohio, it is. Yeah.
Do you typically try to hunt that, or is it not possible because it's a weekend?
No, I'll still hunt.
Yeah. You feel ready?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I am. It's selfish as shit, but I am like deer hunting 24/7 all year round. Like as soon as season's over, I take maybe a couple weeks off. I go and hit ATA show like I did last year. I'll go and hit some shows, hang out with some of the guys, and then it's sheds. Then it's turkey season. Once turkey season's over, then it's scouting. Then it's getting food plots ready, and it's a spiral cycle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a disease.
Do you have a tendency to change things during the off season, like saddle, gear, camo, broadheads, arrows? Like, do you change much, or do you kind of have? Do you feel like you're in a good spot right now?
Right now, I feel like I'm in a really good spot, but I always like to test new things. Like I've never used Evolution Whitetail Furies, and I'm gonna run them this year because I'm gonna try them. Gear wise, I always wanted a Latitude Method 3 since they came out. But I have a Cruiser XC, and then I've got a Cruiser Mini Seeker platform, and there's nothing wrong with it, so I'm just going to keep running it. Bow wise, that's where we get into the pockets, if you know what I mean.
The most expensive one.
Yeah, like last year, I have a Lift X 33 right now, but I had a UV slider on it, changed that to a dialed 3VA. I always change my stabilizer setup because I'd love to tinker, but it was really hard for me not to buy an ARC this year. But my personal opinion, there's not another bow right now that beats my Lift X.
Okay. Nice. Well, it sounds like you got a pretty good plan. It sounds like you feel like you're in a good spot. It sounds like you got a good head on your shoulders as far as being a good dad, a good family man. You know, you're engaged in the community. You love heavy metal. I mean, you're checking all the boxes, big dog.
What's the best album this year that come out?
In my opinion, the New Boundaries album.
Oh my God, it's the best album I've heard in 5 years.
I will tell you this, though. I'm very interested in the newest. I don't know when it's coming out. The Like Moths to Flames.
They are the most consistent fucking metalcore band that has been around. Every album is a banger.
They keep putting these fucking singles out, and every one of them's better than the one before. The single that they put out, I Don't Want to Be Here Anymore. It gets my dick hard, like a little bit. My dick gets a little bit hard every time. Every time he starts the first I Don't Want to Be Here Anymore, I get a little chubbed up. I'm not going to lie.
Where the Quiet Devours Me, the newest single that just came out.
Fucking love it.
Fucking amazing. I saw them with Polaris years ago. So good.
I think I caught the very end of Polaris one year in Grand Rapids. My brother and I drove out there, and they were at opening band. I think we caught the end of it, and they were phenomenal. But what I was going to say was, so far, Boundaries, but I'm really curious to see what Like Moths to Flames puts out, because if it's going to be a contender.
They are the most consistent metalcore band that's, in my opinion, that's been around.
Yeah.
Every album is good. Every chug, every riff, every breakdown, everything. They're always so good, and their lyrics are insane. Like their last album was a little on the softer side.
Yeah.
But the song Kintsugi is like one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard in my life.
Agreed. It's I've got a few albums that I can put on when I work out that just like they don't have to change, and then they're definitely right there, man.
Did you listen to the Bring Me reunion album they did?
I did. 100% loved everything about it. But I also moved on from it really quickly because of the Boundaries album.
Oh, that Boundaries album is by far one of the best albums I've ever heard in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, I was really stoked for the new Motionless album that came out, and I hated it. I was so disappointed.
It did nothing for me.
No, and I saw them with Knocked Loose 2 years ago, and they put on a hell of a show. But their newest album was no bueno. Like, I gave it I think a 3 out of 10.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where I bet you I would really enjoy seeing them live. Even playing that album, I would enjoy seeing them live, but I think there's just something about that. Like Norma Jean. Norma Jean is one of my favorite bands of all time. But Norma Jean live is different than Norma Jean albums. And
right, yeah,
I would go see Norma Jean every year, even if their album was like, it's fine. I would still absolutely love seeing them because their live shows are so incredible.
Yeah, did you see that Parkway was doing like a reunion? Parkway Drive, they did. So they're doing a reunion of 2 albums on 2 separate tours. They're playing both albums in the same
Really?
Lineup. Yeah, and I love Old Parkway too.
That's another one. Yep. That is definitely another one that I could turn on and just let it go. God, I remember I was a traveling superintendent when the original Parkway Drive album came out. And I remember listening to it on my laptop in my hotel room when I was traveling to different states to work. It was so fucking good.
I love the metal community. I love everything about it. It's so diverse, and that's what I like about it too, because you can have your hardcore kids.
Yeah.
You can have your deathcore kids. You can have your metalcore kids, post-hardcore. If Johnny Craig wasn't such a piece of shit, he would have took Dance Gavin Dance to the moon.
You can even take your wife. Like my wife will go to a metal show. She loves the energy. Yeah,
I've taken my wife to all the metal shows, and she's like, what are we doing? When is this going to be over? Because me and my wife were 2 total opposites. Okay.
Well, my wife and I are quite opposite indeed, but she does like a good show, and it's just the energy. She just loves the intensity. She loves the music. She likes how loud it is. But she's also like a lactation counselor, and she's a natural, like everything. Like everything's natural. No, like she's a very natural, but loves a good metal show. Always has.
Yeah. Yeah, and metal goes so far though too. Like, I love pop punk though. Like,
sure.
I got a Blink 182 tack because I love Blink, and like Neck Deep and the story so far. Like that era too. Mm-hmm. I love all of it, really.
God, I went on a real deep rabbit hole because I didn't listen to Under Oath back in the day. Like I just didn't. It wasn't in my rotation. And then there's a Facebook page where this guy puts emo music on the fucking car radio, and he's with his wife, and then it'll flash him, and he'll have like a swoopy doo haircut, and then the next he's got like eyeliner, and then his fingernails are black, and I can't remember what the name of the fucking Facebook page is, but it made me laugh. And his wife, you can see his wife getting weirded out next to him, but it was an Under Oath song. I was like, oh, I kind of like this. Well, then I started listening to a lot of that style of heavy music. Very recently, I went down a major Under Oath rabbit hole.
Yeah, if like bands I compare Under Oath to would be like Seosin.
Yes.
Like Circus Survive. Kind of around that era. Skylit Drive.
Yes.
God, Skylit was so good too. But yeah, they were really good.
Are you do you have a lot of CDs, or is that after your time? God
No, I
damn
used
it,
to
I'm
have a
such
bunch
an
of
old
CDs.
man.
Nah, I used to have a bunch of CDs. I had a lot of Bullet CDs because I went down a big Bullet for my Valentine kick. Went
Okay.
real hard. A couple of Kill Switch, Slipknot, I Set My Friends on Fire.
Yes.
They're God, that was so good too. That my one album that stands out forever because I still have a CD at my mom's house is the Stand Up and Scream album from when Asking was actually good and not dog shit.
That's another one. Yes.
They were so good.
100% agree with that. What happened to them? Radio fame?
Danny Warsnop needs to get the fuck out of the band. He thinks he's an American citizen now. Wants to be country and shit.
Oh, that's funny. Well, Michael, do you prefer Michael? I never asked.
All my homies call me Starkey.
Starkey.
Yeah.
Circling that. Starkey, I appreciate your conversation, man. I appreciate getting to know you a little bit more. Man, I love talking heavy metal or metal music and at all, and especially deer hunting.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I know. I appreciate the time. It's awesome. It's always cool. Like, I don't know. I don't really have any like homies that listen to metal and shit and talk deer hunting really. So it's cool. You know what I mean? I'll send you. I'm sure something will come out and I'll just send it to you on Instagram. And be like, did you see
Hell
this?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to send you my number, so you don't have to go through Instagram. That's gay. I mean, it's fine for breaking the ice, but once you do a podcast together, you motherfucker, you should have my phone number. So you should be able to text me that shit. And I sincerely appreciate you acknowledging that deer hunting, period, which makes you a killer, is what this is all about. You should love hunting, and whether that's killing a doe, a fucking spike, a 6-point, an 8-point, a 180, a 220, whatever. Just go out there and hunt and be a fucking killer. And that's what this is all about. And I appreciate you acknowledging that about yourself.
Yeah, man. Go out there and whack and stack them and fuck everybody else. Who cares?
Yeah. Provide for your family and have a good time. I appreciate you doing this, man.
Yeah, dude, no problem. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. We'll keep in touch. And thanks, everybody, for listening. We will talk to you all next time. See ya.